Hi, this is Vicki with My Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm going to be making a gorgeous card today with Band Together. I have used this maybe one other time, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't use it to its fullest extent. Isn't this card gorgeous? I'm actually using a designer series paper from Garden Lane, and it is so soft and so subtle and so pretty. Unfortunately, it is retiring, but I placed an order this morning for my pre-order. As a demonstrator for Stampin' Up!, I get to place a pre-order before everybody else sees the catalog. And it has some gorgeous papers in it, and I can't wait to start playing with them. I should get them next week, and I'll start showing you at that point. But anyway, look at this gorgeous card. It has so many different designs and elements to it. I embossed this layer and then cut it with the Stitched So Sweetly. I have these gorgeous little die cuts. There's ribbon and seam binding. There's a band together, band right across here, and this is the center of that band. This is the die cut that I use. And I cut out the Mint Macaron to go here, but then I cut out a white piece from that. Anyway, I'll show you how I'll do that. So pretty. And I sponged the flowers and the leaves, and I just love it. It is so gorgeous. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get started playing. Okay, so I've brought a little bit of scrap paper in, and the first thing I'm going to do is to get my stamping done. I'm using Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to stamp it onto Soft Seafoam. And then I'll cut it out. And then after I cut it out, I will sponge it. Okay? Then I'm going to bring in my Mint Macaron. Oops, I just dipped my paper in it. And this is a really large stamp. And I don't want to stamp the whole thing. I just want this flower. So I'm just going to stamp 2 flowers, and I just let it hang off because it's such a large stamp. So I'm doing that and that. Then I'm going to bring in You Are Amazing, and I'm just going to put it right down here like that. I don't like the way that's stamped, so I'll do that again. Hold on. Okay, so I brought my Big Shot in, and I'm going to cut out the flower and the leaf first. And this is the platform that I have is one that I bought separate from the Big Shot when I purchased it, which you can't even buy this Big Shot anymore. Stampin' Up! Is actually coming out with a new one, and I cannot wait for the new die cutting machine. They even have a mini one, and it's going to be so awesome. So anyway, sometimes with the magnetic platform, the polarity of it will get off, and so I just put a little bit of washi tape on, and that will make it stay. So I'm going to run those through. I've already cut out my extra flower and my leaf, and I wanted to show you how I'm cutting out this band. I'm going to show you this one first. And when you do this band and you do it in its entirety, it will come out such a beautiful little band. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to do my sentiment too. So look how pretty that is. And you'll notice there is a hole in the center that is this design. This is what I want to cut out with my Whisper White for my sentiment. And I don't want a whole white one like this because I don't need to waste it. So I just cut my piece of Whisper White down with my sentiment on it. And I'm just going to bring in this die again. And I'm just going to place it to where it will capture the Whisper White in its entirety. You have to be careful not to cut it too short, because if you do, then if I show you like this, if I were to do it like this, then there would be edges that would not end up being cut out with the die, and you don't want that. So try to get it centered and where you want it, and then just run that through. And voila! Isn't that cool? And that will just be popped up on top of this. I love that. So off camera, I went ahead and cut out my Soft Seafoam using my Stitched So Sweetly die. And what I want to do is to run this through my embossing folder, the lace embossing folder. And as you'll see, that there's a line right across here. And there's definitely a certain pattern, and I want it to be a certain pattern. So I'm going to put it where I can have like the little flowers on each side, and that this center line right here will pretty much go down the middle of my cardstock. So now I'm going to run it through. And this is what I came out with. Isn't that pretty? Okay, I'm all done with my die cutting machine. I brought my flowers back in, and I'm going to take a little bit of the Mint Macaron, and I'm going to rub off first, and then sponge on color, just like that. You can see the difference there. Isn't that pretty? Not too much, just subtly done. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Pear Pizzazz and do the same thing with these. I might need to re-ink my Pear Pizzazz ink pad. So now we're going to start putting it all together. I'm using a Soft Seafoam card base. Then I'm going to layer this designer series paper. As I mentioned, that's from Garden Lane. And don't worry about the sizes and dimensions of everything. All of that and the supplies will be on my blog. I do believe this is 3 1/4 by 5, but I couldn't tell you what the smallest Soft Seafoam is that I put on. The one that I ran through the embossing folder. I should have put this. Okay, I'm going to do that first. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the front, and I'm just going to kind of hit it up where the lines are thicker so it doesn't goosh out everywhere. I learned that word from Jackie Bolheis. I love her videos. Goosh. All right, so I'm just going to place this across the front. And the reason I stopped myself from adhering the panel down first was that you're going to need to trim this off, and it's harder to do when it's actually adhered to the card. Thank the Lord for my silicone mat, because you see how it just lifted right up, and I didn't have to get it on my tabletop or anything like that. So then you just trim that off like that. Okay, now I will place it onto, and it's still got a lot of glue left on it, so now we'll place it onto our card base, just like that. I love this silicone mat. You can actually rub it right off your adhesive. However, I had so much adhesive on it that it was going to be a lot of rubbing. So there's that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to use dimensionals to start popping my flowers up and placing them where they need to go. I found this somewhat like, I used to do flower arranging. I used to work with a lady in, I lived in St. Louis. She lived in Cahokia, Illinois. She was a friend of mine from church. And she owned a flower shop, and she would hire me to come over and help make boutonnieres and sprays for funerals and that sort of thing. And I learned a lot about flower arranging through her. And this is what it reminded me of as I was putting these flowers on the card. First thing I'm going to do is to kind of place it where I want it to be. I still want this to show. I really got kind of happy with that ink on there. Oh well, it's still going to be gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to place them kind of where I can, and I want this to show as much as possible. And maybe you'll find that was unnecessary to put that there. I really liked it though, and I liked what it brought to the card. So then I'm just go ahead and place it like that. Place this over here. And before I started the video, I had actually cut these out. These are some of the little leaf images that you can cut out with your dies that comes with this particular stamp or die set. And so I'm going to use one each of these, and I'm going to put one over here, and it looks good like that, I think. And I'll just do the same like right in here. And you can trim them if you need to, if you feel like it feels better to do that. All right, this will also go on dimensionals. I think that's what I'm going to put down first. And I'll stick this like right in here. Just going to put it in the grooves of that band. Okay, so you know we have simple stamping, casual stamping, and avid. Okay, this would definitely be considered an avid project, which is stuff that I love doing avid stamping and creating. It's so fun. You would not want to do this at a class unless it was a bunch of demonstrators or people who are into this sort of thing. All right, I'm going to just kind of tuck it right there up under it ever so slightly. Then I'm going to place a little bit of glue on this. Place it up under it. There we go. Like that. I probably could have cut some of that off. And I think I will put just a tad right here on that thicker spot so that it doesn't get caught and come up when somebody opens it. And then I'll put this one in place. There we go. Because you have to be mindful that you want your card to not get damaged when it goes in and out of the envelope. So you want to try to keep it on the front if possible. Just tuck this one down inside here like that. And I'll put a little bit of glue on the back of this one as well. Y'all, I'm sticking everything. There we go. Then we'll do the same over here. I'm going to snip some of this off. I won't have to tuck it in so far that way. And that's pretty much what you do when you're doing flowers too. You snip them off till they hit the right place. Okay. Now, the last thing that I'm going to do to this card is I'm going to use ribbon. I'm using the seam binding ribbon. And I'm just going to, and I'm going to use glue dots on this, I think. I'm going to cut it like that. Actually, that might actually be a little too long, so I'll cut it again. There we go. I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of it. I'm sticking to everything. It's too funny. All right, and then I'm actually going to put one on the front of it as well because I want this to stick to it. So there we go. Then I'm just going to use my little take your pick tool, and I'm going to stick it up under there like that. And just pull those little ribbons together a little bit more. And I actually think it could be trimmed just a tiny bit more, so we'll do that. All right, I'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, then I'm going to do the same thing with this Mint Macaron ribbon, except this time I'm going to do a loop. And it really probably, your ribbon probably only has to be about 1.5 inches long. I got so sticky I had to go wash my hands. It was a mess. All right, I'm just take this in, put it right up under here like this. And it really does help using that take your pick tool. I love the look of having the one with little bannered ends and then having another one that is a loop. It just, everything about this card I just found so pretty. I was playing the other day and I just couldn't help but keep adding and playing and doing stuff. I think I might put this one up here. There we go. And there is my project for today. Isn't that a gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I forgot to put, look at me. I totally forgot to put this gorgeous piece under it. I knew something was missing. But you know what? It's still gorgeous. I love it anyway. It's still very, very pretty. And I actually made it to where my band was showing out more here than on this one. So you can see, you can do it with or without it, and it'll still be gorgeous. All right, excuse my haphazardness and my glue and sticky fingers today, but I still had fun putting it together, and I hope you had fun watching. And I hope it gives you hope that you don't have to be perfect to do this. So we have a new catalog coming out. I just placed my order for them today. And if you do not already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like to have a catalog, please let me know. I'll have my website up at the top of the screen, and I would love to be your demonstrator. Even though I'm not perfect, I hope that doesn't make much of a difference. Anyway, thank you for joining me. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, please do so today. Please click subscribe and hit the little bell, and you'll get notice when my future videos come out. Okay, thanks, and have a great day. I think I'm going to go get another cup of coffee. Bye now.